Maxxy Rainbow.
And I'm Renata from the 𝗍𝗍𝘅.
And welcome back to episode 25 of the 𝗫𝗍𝘆 podcast. We are here in Malmi, Helsinki, Finland, together in person.
In person this time, like our first episode ever, we were together, and now we're together again in an extremely special place.
Yes, so if you can't tell based on our surroundings, we are in the Käärijä Airbnb. Yes, so we just today left Tampere. Sadly, it was an amazing experience, which is of course what this entire video is going to be about. But now we have landed here for a day in the Käärijä Airbnb, and I'm just having a great time.
It's been amazing.
It's been literally, and how many days has it been? 3, I guess 4? 4 probably?
Yeah, because we arrived on Thursday, and we had all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. So we've had
5.
We've had 3 full days, and today is our 4th full day here in Finland.
Yes. So in this episode, sorry to all the other national selections that happened over the weekend, because there's only one that we were even paying attention to, because we were there, which was UMK 2024. So in this video, we are going to be going over our entire experience with UMK and of course, reviewing the entries and the performances and all that. But before we get into that episode, of course, we need to give a shout out to our patrons. These are people who went over to patreon.com/𝗫𝗍𝘆 podcast to support the podcast, subscribed. They get full-length video episodes and ad-free. You get some bonus content. You also get clips of the songs through the editing, and you also get a shout out at the beginning of the episode, like the following people. So shout out to Meredith, Daniel, Obili, Alistair, Russell, Shoegazer, Daniel, Kathleen, Suniva, Norbert, Jackson, Henny, Andrew, and our newest patron,
A new one,
friend of the pod, Elliot Harris.
Elliot! Oh, we love Elliot. And Elliot's releasing a song soon with Miss Queen from Luxembourg's national selection.
Yes. So we stand Elliot for that. Thank you everybody who has been supporting the podcast. You make things like this happen. Okay, so the first thing before we even got to UMK was our journey there. So it was a long, arduous task. Of course, we are from the United States. So it's not just a hop, skip, and a jump. Well, is hop, skip, and a jump like a long journey?
I don't know.
Well, it's not just a one little plane ride over, okay? It's a whole journey. It's a whole, for me, it took 24 hours. I left at like 8 a.m. or something like that. And it was just, it took way too long. But it was fine. I didn't have any issues, really. My flights were all smooth. Basically, I flew from Pittsburgh to New York, New York to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Helsinki. So it was 3 flights, which was a lot. But I had no really issues. Everything was on time. I give myself long layovers so I don't have to stress. So I was chilling for the most part. How was your journey?
My journey was mostly okay. I had almost a 2-hour metro ride from my house to the airport. Although actually first I had to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning so that I could drive 30 minutes away to pick up my little sister and her 4-month-old baby to take her back to my house. And then I went to work, and I worked for a few hours, and then I went home back, showed my sister where to take out the trash, how to take the dog for a walk because she's watching my plates while I'm away. Love her. And then I got on the metro, went to the airport. My flight left at 7 p.m. And then that was on a Wednesday. I flew to Reykjavik, Iceland, and that was 6 hours. And then I was barely in the airport at all. I walked from the plane and then walked and stood in line to board my next flight, which was to Helsinki, which was 3 hours. And yeah, then arrived at the airport and we were reunited at long last.
Oh my God, that was so exciting to see you running up to those doors as I ran down. And then we went to go collect our baggage, which is just always a really stressful, scary time. You know, you never know if something wrong is going to happen, if your luggage is, maybe your luggage isn't going to show up. Is it going to come completely burst? So,
yeah, and I've had my luggage get lost before when I was going overseas. And I was really worried about my luggage being lost, so I had kind of packed the most important stuff in my carry-on. My luggage showed up. I watched my big bright blue bag come out of the little luggage thing, and then it sort of turns, around a little bit, and I say, oh my God, the wheel has broken off of my luggage. And I could see a big hole where a wheel should be and like the lining of my luggage coming out of the hole. Luckily, the lining didn't burst, nothing was ripped, but it was like impossible. I had to like drag the luggage, and it's been that way till today. The luggage cannot be repaired, but an amazing, beautiful, wonderful friend fortunately has brought me a new piece of luggage, so I don't have to drag a big heavy bag around. And when I say drag, I mean drag, not drag queen. I love me a drag queen. I don't love me a drag bag. So luckily after today, I won't have to deal with that anymore. But it's been a solid 4 days of this really horrible situation with my luggage, but nothing was lost.
Yeah.
Everything was fine in the end. Just a couple meltdowns in the street because I was pulling this thing. Because also there is ice everywhere on the sidewalks, and they put pebbles down to add grip so that you don't slip and fall. So I've also been dragging this tripod of a bag with 3 wheels over like big, chunky, icy, gravelly sidewalks. And that part has been, actually, that has been the worst part of the trip so far. So if that can key you in, we're going to talk about a lot of great stuff, because the only bad thing that really has happened was the wheel bursting off my bag. And that was at the start, but it's been okay since then.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, luckily you have a new bag now.
Yeah.
We are on our 3rd of accommodations. So it's been, back and forth to different spots. But we got there in the end.
We got there in the end.
So that's good.
And we've had some cool accommodations so far, actually.
Yes, yeah. So we stopped, our flight was to Helsinki for both of us, and we took a train up to Tampere, and that was a really good experience.
Yeah, and another amazing friend actually
Yes.
met us at the airport, and they took us from the airport. We went and got coffee and pastries before the next train, so it was really nice to have kind of a warm welcome from the airport and to lead us off to our next destination, to Tampere.
So finally we made it to Tampere on the train, and we stopped in our first accommodation, which was really cute. It was like this kind of hostel hotel mix kind of vibe, and it was really, really cute. And we dropped our stuff off there, and we didn't have much time in there to just, we settled in, but then we had somewhere to be, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit about what we went and did?
So we went and we had our inaugural dinner with another friend, someone from the United States, someone from California. I'm not going to name drop anyone because I don't know if they want their names dropped, but it was so awesome to hang out with a new friend. And we went to an amazing restaurant called 𝗏𝗏𝘆, which is kind of like, there's different hooks all over Finland, and they're sort of like an American style wing shop. And I love chicken wings, and I love fried food, and I love sports, and it's also sort of a sports bar. But what's kind of funny about this place is it's like a pirate-themed sports bar that sells American-style food. So we kind of put it to the test.
Yeah.
And me, as a sports fan and a chicken wing connoisseur, I have to say it definitely passed the test. But something kind of funny happened after we left this restaurant. We had noticed that like the restaurant really cleared out like really early. Like nobody else was on the floor eating with us.
To the point where I was like, I went on Google, I was like, are they closed? Like, and it was like, no, they were still open till 11. It was only like 8 or so. And
I even went and I walked upstairs because I wanted to see the other level, and the upstairs was like packed. Like clearly everybody was getting put upstairs, but nobody was getting put downstairs. It was very, very strange. So then we go back to the hotel and we're looking at our phones and we see some stories from none other than Käärijä and 𝗥𝗶𝗃𝗯𝘅, and they were posting videos from 𝗥. Not just from 𝗥, but literally sitting at the table that was right next to the table that we had been sitting at. And based on the timestamp, they literally had gone to the restaurant right after we left.
Yeah,
so we like just missed them.
I'm shocked we didn't see them outside when we were coming in, because it was like that close. It was insane. But don't you worry, because we ended up running into them in other situations later on in the next few days. So then we went back to the hotel. I mean, it's a beautiful city. Even at night,
gorgeous. It
was gorgeous. There was already all these UMK stuff, like screens, all advertisements, and then like all these pink lights, and it got me excited. Just that little journey. And that was also our first experience with the Finnish cold.
Oh my God, it was so cold. And like, we're from the north, like we've been cold before, but it was the kind of cold that actually like chills you to your bones. Like it hurts your skin. My eyelashes were getting frozen, like from the moisture from my breath coming up, because I was wearing a mask because I wanted to keep my face warm, but the moisture from my breath was coming up to the top of the mask and it was getting my eyelashes wet, and my eyes were literally freezing shut. I'm not exaggerating. I was like, what is happening to my eyes? Like, it was really weird. It was so cold, and I don't even think that was the coldest cold we've experienced while we've been here, because it was really, really cold, you guys.
Yeah, so then that was Thursday, right?
Yes.
So we went up, we went to bed, found out that I snore.
Yeah, but it's okay because I have noise canceling headphones, so like, you know, no big deal.
Yeah, and then the next day we had an amazing. Fun press trip, which there is going to be like a whole involved video where we talk about everything that we did in that. But we did get to see a bunch of our friends and people that we know from the Eurovision world, other Eurovision bloggers, 𝗥𝗶𝗃𝗍, yes, bestie, and meet a lot of new people. And that's what I love about going to these things, and specifically something like that, because I've never been on a press trip like this before.
Me either. It was so cool.
It was so cool, and actually getting to go around the whole city and tour and see all these different things, and I don't know, it was kind of like the best way to like get a little taste of everything. Sometimes literally, there was a lot of good food as well, but also bond with these people that you're going to be seeing for the next few days, and that was a great experience, because we did meet a lot of people, because the only people I think I knew was 𝗥𝗶𝗃𝗍. And I feel like I made some really good friends that I'll see at other Eurovision events now, because some of the people were people that, I was there the same time that you were there, but we just didn't know each other, and so we weren't going to talk. But now, you know, you have all these friends. That's what I love about the Eurovision community, is because like you can go to all these random countries and you see the same people that you know from all these events, and I don't know. So it was really fun just to kind of have some fun.
And what was really cool that I noticed about the press trip with all the other people is a lot of us have other aspects of our lives where not everyone necessarily does Eurovision stuff all the time, but we only talked about like our Eurovision aspect of our lives, and it was kind of felt like, you know, it really was like that was our life. Like, it is our life.
Yeah.
Like, the other, like, you know, real life, you know, it doesn't exist at that time. Like, you are just doing... literally living in the moment. Like, that's your life at the moment. It's, you know, doing press and meeting other people and just experiencing like the Eurovision life, and it was amazing.
Yeah, and I think that I feel like for me, and probably for you as well, like us being American especially, but I'm sure it's for everybody, because not everybody's a Eurovision fan, and so when you get to be in those situations where you're like, oh, we're all fans, we all love this, and so that's all we want to talk about, because we don't get to do that in our normal life. We don't get to talk about only Eurovision for a whole day with people. So that was so much fun. And then you had a fun little detour that you did while I went to the saunas, and you went and maybe did something even cooler.
So yeah, I went on an epic side quest. And this was something that I knew was going to happen for a really long time, and I had been keeping it a secret because I literally just didn't like want to jinx the trip. Like, I didn't want to talk about this thing was going to happen in case it didn't happen, and then I would look like an idiot or a liar saying that like this thing was happening. So if you know me, you probably know that I'm a massive fan of the Portion boys who were in UMK last year. They came in second with the song 𝗪𝗪𝘆 and I just love this band. They're my favorite band, like literally ever. I've never like fangirled so hard for a band in my life, and like I'm in my 30s. Like I didn't think like I would be like this age as an adult and just like have my life kind of transformed by this band, but that's what happened. And I know I can say with certainty I am their #1 fan outside of Finland. And I had the amazing opportunity, thanks to the band who has like appreciated my support for them over all this time, that they actually invited me to go to one of their private gigs because it was the only gig that they had while I was in town. When I found out that I was coming to Finland, I messaged them and said like, hey guys, like, you know I love you and I'm coming to Finland and please let me know if you have any gigs. But, you know, because no one really gigs on like UMK week because like, you know, UMK, like, that's what everyone's interested in.
Yeah.
They only had this private gig and they invited me, and I went to actually Turku. So I had literally the day before had flown from America, then went to Tampere, and then the next day I went to Turku, and again with the help of a great friend, I got to, you know, stay with another friend who I'd only known through online, and they gave me a place to stay close to the venue, which was Logamo, which was where they had UMK last year. So like literally the place where it all started for me with this band, like watching them at UMK and like having my life transformed by them. I got to not just meet them there, but I got to go backstage with them. I got to give them a gift bag because they were so sweet to me to bring me along for this night. I brought them all my favorite candies from the United States. Like I literally brought them like 5 pounds of sugar. And I also brought them this amazing poster that Greg, who is the other half of the 𝗪𝗇, had designed for them. He hand drew pictures of them from UMK last year and did like a composite thing. And it was so awesome to like give them this gift and to spend time with them and to talk to them, and then to actually walk backstage with them from the dressing rooms, which, by the way, I got to go into the dressing room that Käärijä had been in when he was in UMK last year, walk down the same hallway that everyone walked down when they were in UMK last year, and walk behind the same stage that everyone was on at UMK last year. Seriously, guys, this was so surreal. Like, I couldn't even believe it was happening when it was happening. And then I got to have the concert, and it was such a cool concert. Like, they are like fireballs on stage, just maximum energy, so much fun. The crowd was loving it. I was loving it. I was crying like a baby through some songs, and they're like a party band. So that's like weird to cry to Portion boys, but I did, whatever. I'm not ashamed. And the show was amazing. I got to spend a little bit more time with them backstage after the show, and then I went back to my friend's house, slept for 3 hours, woke up, got on a train back to Tampere, and then we had one hell of a whirlwind of a day from that point on.
Yeah. So I started getting in drag pretty early in the morning, around 8 a.m. And so I was about midway through by the time you made it over. Neither of us got very much sleep because I was up super late the day before doing, like, after the whole press trip, we all went to karaoke and we were doing all this stuff and we were getting felt up by this weird bald man that looks like the guy that just got selected for Latvia. You know, so that's what we were up to. And then, then we got in drag, and we had to move from our. Well, I got in drag.
Yeah.
I got in drag. Well, we got in drag.
Yeah, because I'm like a no makeup wearing girly. Like so when I get dressed up, like it is almost like doing drag for me because that's just not what I'm like in my regular life.
Yeah, and I love that we did do little matching outfits, which we'll put up the pictures, of course, so you guys can see. You know, I was kind of like the crazy drag version, and you were like the real human being.
Yeah.
You know, and we both took inspiration from our god. We look like, imagine this was like our room. And we're like, you know, like we're just like, we have a whole shrine. This is our house. Yeah. This is what we're living. Honestly, I see that in the cards for me in the near future. Maybe I'll take inspiration from what I see here. But we moved over from our hotel hostel sort of thing, and we moved over to the Nokia Arena, Lapland Arena Hotel.
Lapland Hotel Arena.
Lapland Hotel Arena. And so this is, of course, where the actual UMK was happening. So we did cover it back in that like first few episodes where we kind of talked about us like booking our accommodations and stuff. But do you want to remind the people who maybe didn't listen to that episode about why that's such a big deal?
Yeah. So the Nokia Arena is just one of the nicest arenas in Europe. I think it's the biggest arena in Finland. And it's not just an arena. It is totally Las Vegas vibes. Mm-hmm. It is a huge, enormous arena. It has bars, it has shopping, it has restaurants, it has suites it has a hotel. There's a hotel in the arena. This is like super unusual. And they have suites inside the hotel where you can you have a box where you can watch the show, you can watch the hockey game, you can watch the Disney on Ice, whatever it is that's happening inside the main space. You can watch that from your hotel room if you're lucky enough to have one of these. I think there's only 6 of those skyboxes.
Oh, really?
But one great thing about this particular hotel is it's connected to the arena through elevators. So we didn't have to go outside a single time after we got to the arena. So like we could go to our hotel room, we could go to the press room, we could go to the main show, we could go to the after party, we could go back to the room, we could go back to the after party. Didn't need a coat. Didn't get cold. No. We could just wear what we were wearing and just live and be free. Yeah. And it made everything like so stress-free.
Yeah.
And the hotel itself is gorgeous.
Yeah. It was literally, I mean, I've never stayed in like a luxury hotel like that, and that was just like insane.
Yeah, 4 stars. It's a 4-star hotel.
It was crazy. The one thing was the elevators. Horrible elevators.
Worst elevators
ever.
And
we'll talk about how those bad elevators, though, kind of ended up making a great moment.
The elevators were bad, but the things that happen in the elevators, that is really where the good stuff was happening.
Yeah. So we checked in. Luckily, we got to check in early, which was nice because we were scared we were going to have to leave our bags, whatever. We got to check in early, so we went and put our stuff up, and then we headed down to the press room where they fucking had full lunch breakfast sort of situation going on with they had salmon, they had all this amazing food. Buffet, yeah. Like literally, I've never seen that. I mean, I'm not that experienced when it comes to Eurovision press stuff, but I've been to enough now to know that is not normal. I don't think I've ever been fed at any of these press things. They have food places in the Eurovision press room, but it's not free.
Yeah.
It's like they have like a little restaurant you can buy food from. But I've never seen something like this. They treated us so well. Like
celebrities. Like I felt like I was like a part of the show being treated so well. The people at 𝗥𝗶𝘆 really like they did a lot to make the press people feel really like welcome and cared for, which was amazing.
Yeah, because that press trip the day before and then this again, it was like first of all, I went 2 days. I didn't have to buy food.
Yeah,
because they were feeding us. I was like, this is crazy. And then we met up with all the people we had just met yesterday, and some more other people that we just know from other press things that are familiar faces. And it was kind of cute because we all kind of circled around the same table, all of us
Yeah.
international people, and then it was like all the Finnish people, and then we all knew each other, so we were all in our own little circle. And then rehearsal started. So we headed over to the rehearsals, which we had bought tickets for.
Yes.
But then because we got press accreditation, the press accreditation was on the floor right next to the stage, right up there in the front. We could not sell our rehearsal tickets. It was impossible for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. But
Well, I think it's actually that the arena is so huge that there was like 10,000 tickets. So, I mean, everyone who wanted one at that point was able to get one because there was just a lot available.
Yeah.
Because Eurovision needs to be hosted in this arena. It is the perfect arena for Eurovision.
Really is.
It has all the amenities you need. It has the hotel right there. It's enormous. It's high tech as hell.
Yeah.
Possibly too high tech with the elevator situation. But I mean, it really. We were in the third row for rehearsals.
That was crazy. The show was amazing. So we got to see it twice because we had seated tickets for both like live shows.
Yeah.
Like as in the rehearsal and then the actual televised live final for UMK. So I just was, in general, speaking about the production of the show and everything and how it all went, it was amazing. I literally felt like I was at Eurovision. Like the size of the venue, the production, all of it, it was just like full size, full scale Eurovision just with 7 songs, and they were all from Finnish artists, but it literally was like, it was Eurovision for me. Like if I only go to UMK, that satisfied what I needed in my soul with that. And the performances were all really amazing live. I felt like a lot of them were amplified. And so then we went from the live rehearsal to the press conference. So unfortunately, they didn't have one-on-ones with all the artists, which I was very sad about. They did a lot of great things, but I will say I wish they did one-on-ones because my style of interviewing doesn't really work for a press conference. Press conferences are like, we need sound bites. You only get one question. So like the stuff that I do, like I don't have a newspaper. I don't have like something where I'm gonna like publish one quote. Like that's not the type of thing that I would do. So, but it was still a lot of fun to sit there and see the artists up close and hear them talk and confront. I didn't confront him. In my brain, I was confronting Michael Gabriel, but, you know, I wasn't gonna, you know, say something to him in a press conference.
Yeah, and, you know, I actually did ask a few questions, but I asked kind of random questions because I'm not a journalist either, so it was sort of like I had the opportunity to ask a question, so I did. Yeah. I asked 𝗍𝗍 about her clothing selection because she's got this, like, amazing sense of style. And I asked Jesse Markin which of the hockey teams from Tampere he supports, because at Nokia Arena there is the 𝗍𝗆 team and the 𝗍𝗏 team, and they're both home teams and they share the arena. And it turns out that Jesse was a 𝗍𝗆 fan, which I'm okay with. I'll accept it. I'll allow it. Even if his team had just beaten the crap out of my team literally the night before, it was okay. I wasn't mad that the Pelicans lost. I wasn't mad. I let Jesse have his moment. But it was weird. I had never been at a press conference before, but I shot my shot, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, and you asked 𝗏𝗏Man a question.
Yeah, right? I asked 𝗏𝗏Man, and he had an opportunity actually through my question, because I asked about his performance and his preparations. He got to shout out like his vocal coach, which I think is something that people don't actually always get an opportunity to do. And there's a lot of people behind the scenes that we never really hear about, because a lot of times people don't ask questions about that stuff. They ask questions about like what we can see, not about what we can't see. So I thought it was cool to, you know, give them flowers for the work that they did helping him prepare.
Yeah, and we had a surprise.
Oh my God, did we ever?
Yeah, so everybody got up. So I think some people even left.
Yes, they
because
did.
everybody had come through. We had the last performers come through. Everybody thought, okay, that's it. And then all of a sudden they announced, oh, by the way, Käärijä and 𝗥𝗶𝗆 are coming through to do a little press conference. Girl, we gagged. Girl ran right back to my seat. Oh,
Yeah,
sat right
yes,
down. I was like,
immediately.
ooh, yes, I got front row. I'm feeling good. They came in, they answered a few questions. Here's the other thing I will say about the press conference is it's like, it was only 10 minutes per person, which was fine. Because
That's fast, though.
it went by very fast, but also there wasn't that much press people, so it was fine. But for them, like, you know, people like, I don't know, there were certain artists that obviously were like the favorites or whatever, or like Käärijä, who are like bigger artists that like could have used more time to actually get a bunch of stuff. But it was, I feel like 10 minutes was fine. But then they went over to do pictures. And so I didn't even walk over. Oh no, I did. I ran over because I was like, you know what?
I want pictures.
I want pictures. I don't care. I'm not taking pictures of anybody else really, but them I need pictures of. Then, girl, a whole ass meet and greet starts occurring. That wasn't happening with anybody else, right? And I thought, oh, it's just one person. But then a bunch of people were, so I was like, oh, let me get my ass up there and get a picture. I got a fucking picture with Käärijä, dressed as Käärijä. My life complete. I was like, I finally get to meet you in me dressed as you. And he was like, yes, I don't know. He was like, yes, I remember you, of course, da da da, all that. It was like, I don't know. I was so shook. I did not expect that at all. After it happened, I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Like, no, I didn't go into this entire trip thinking I'll see him, like, meet him at all.
No, I didn't. I figured that he would be so far away from everyone, because everyone would want a piece of him, that there was no way that there'd be a chance to have a run-in with him.
Yeah. And did you get to see, you talked to him, right?
I did. I got a picture with him, and I freaked him out a little bit because I was like, oh, we're staying at your house on Monday. And he's like, what? And then I was like, in Malmy at the B&B, and he was like, oh, okay. And, told us, that he hopes us we have a really good time. But he was kind of like, girl, what the hell are you talking? You're coming to my house? What?
I mean, he can come over.
Yeah, he could have come over.
Open invite. I mean, he knew we were here.
I'm sure he's still got a key to this place, but whatever. It's okay that he didn't show up. But that was really cool to meet him, because I did not think that would happen. And I did get to meet him in Liverpool briefly, so I got to do it here too. And like, he was the reason that I came here really at all.
Yeah.
Like, so I did get to I got to meet 𝗤𝗏𝘆 briefly.
Yeah.
So after she did her question and answer and her little photo shoot thing, I went and I took pictures of her because she's gorgeous. I wanted pictures of her. And I didn't think I'd get a chance to talk to her, but I wanted to try, because if you've seen my videos, my reaction to her went a little bit viral. She reacted to my reaction, and I got to interview her, and we had like a great connection in the interview. And in the interview, she said, like, I want to meet you when we're in Tampere. And I was like, this might be my only chance to actually meet her. So I was able to meet her, give her a hug, wish her luck, and speak to her very briefly, and it was a beautiful moment. And then somebody pulled her away because they were probably like, we gotta get going, and who is this girl hugging you and not letting go? But she wasn't letting go of me either. We were having a moment together. Exactly. It was beautiful. But so it was just like, the two people that I really wanted to meet the most, I got to meet at the press conference. So it was kind of like, at that point, like, day made. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And that's what's weird about these things is, when you're in any of the like Eurovision events or whatever, you never know when it's gonna, like, this might be my last time I ever see Käärijä.
Yeah.
This might be the last time I ever meet him, because unless he goes to a pre-party like in the years in the future or something, or he recompetes in Eurovision, like, I might never get to meet him again.
Yeah.
So like, seize the day, seize the opportunity when you can. And then after that was the press conference, right?
Yeah.
And we had another meal. They fed us again. We had dinner before the actual live show, which we did also go to. So, this is where we get into the actual entries. Talk about them.
Yeah.
One by one. Okay, so opening thingy.
Amazing.
Opening performance was amazing. So we had, what are their names?
From
𝗏𝗏, what's his name?
Johannes Brotheris. And Oh, I forget the other two. Jan2 and Arnie. Arnie,
So
Jan2, and Johannes.
So that's
from
the whole
𝗏𝗏.
of 𝗏𝗏.
Yeah, 3
okay.
people.
Okay, well, I guess I could have just said 𝗏𝗏 then.
Yeah.
And what's the other one's name?
Benjamin Peltonen?
Oh, okay. Because in my brain, I kept going, Benjamin Ingrosso. And I was like, I know it's not Benjamin Ingrosso, but he's the only one on my mind. Fucking gorgeous performance. I mean,
amazing.
Literally, it starts off with the dude from 𝗏𝗏, and it's like a kind of stripped down version, and it's really, and then you see Benjamin pop up behind him, and it's kind of like this dramatic, you know. I don't know. It was so fucking good. Live, it wasn't good. I felt like until they like started doing the big moments, but like that part was kind of weird because they were close up and the camera was right in their face, so you just can't see from the.
There was actually a lot of that. I felt like with the show where you could tell certain parts were very choreographed for television, which is it's a TV show, so like that's how it is. But there's a totally different vibe when you're in the audience. So like there's parts where like it feels really good to be an audience member. You feel like you're watching a concert, and then there's other times where you definitely feel like you're watching the recording of a TV show where it's not like a concert at all.
Yeah, that's a unique experience of Eurovision things as well, because there are definitely like the audience is not the focus. It's all about how it looks on TV. So like some of the performances that we'll get into had pretty much a person on a camera on the stage the whole time, and it was a little difficult to see what was going on, but that was gorgeous on TV. And then they kind of broke out. They did a whole dancing moment, and it was like that looked amazing live. At that point, it was crazy, and they brought out dancers, and it was just like absurd.
Well, and the stage thing too was it had like that super long catwalk.
Yeah.
So another aspect, like when we were at our seats, which were behind the green room for the live show, we were seeing everything from a distance, the whole light show, everything. But when we were sat for the rehearsal up at the 3rd row, there were a lot of times where we were actually turning our bodies completely around because we were watching people walk down the catwalk. So it was kind of an interesting stage experience because like we had to move in order to see what was happening.
And also during that performance, they had all the artists walk out, which was really cool because it was like your first chance to get to see them up close, up personal.
Well, the only thing about that that kind of like flag parade, you could sort of call it like a flag parade. In the audience, it felt great. It was like, oh, clapping for your faves as they walk down the catwalk. But on TV, something about the camera angles that they chose, because when we rewatched it later at the hotel, we were like, you can't like see them. Like the cameras weren't trained on them coming out of the backstage. It was like you would see the other person who had just gone kind of like blocking the view. Like, so there were weird moments like that where it was like better in the arena than it was on TV actually.
Yeah, it's like they had the camera, the only cameraman they were using for that was like straight on the front of the catwalk, whereas they should have done it like in Eurovision where there's usually like one on each side where the artists are coming out.
Yeah.
And so you get a shot of them because it was like they weren't all off stage, so you would see whoever in front of them blocking them, and it was like
it was weird.
It was weird. So first up to perform was 𝗏𝗏 by 𝗫𝗎 𝗏𝗏𝘅. So this was my winner going into this. I will say this was not my winner after this live performance. It was, entertaining in the sense that she was doing a lot.
Yeah, she was doing a bit too much.
Yeah, it was just, they really did just try to throw everything into that, and it was just not done well. Her outfit was too big and clunky for her. She's not really much of a graceful dancer, it appears. They have her stab there were cool moments.
Yeah.
The piano and then stab it, whatever, was cute, but then immediately no second to then jump on top of the piano for 2 seconds, then roll off. Why did she roll in that big clunky dress? Why is she rolling? She should not be rolling anywhere. Why would she do that? The whole thing as it went on, it was like it was entertaining, it was fun, but it was way too much. The styling didn't make any sense. I don't understand. I mean, I guess I understand after seeing the reveal, but like the Kris Jenner wig. What was up with the Kris Jenner wig? And then, I mean, I just thought, okay. And then she rips off the wig, and it looked cute, like live. I was like, oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, but she's got a very, casual hairstyle on underneath. It's like almost a reveal. It's like in the drag queen world, a reveal is supposed to be like better. You're supposed to reveal to something better. When you reveal to something worse, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a bit of a miss. Like, the video was so cunty, and then the live performance was just kind of like messy, really, which was too bad because she is a good performer, and like her vocals were pretty good despite doing too much. And if they would have just let the dancers be the physical aspect and maybe just let her, sing the song, it would have come off a little bit better.
Yeah, and her styling, I didn't understand, and I think it was with a lot of people this year, but her specifically, her video was so colorful, and it was all pastels, which is colorful in its own right, but it just didn't really make sense to me at all.
Yeah, it was like so desaturated.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that, like, she's peeling off her layers like an onion sort of thing, so she's ripping off, which is such a good concept. And it sucks whenever someone, like, that would be a really cool idea.
Well, and even like with the wig thing, because the outfit was sort of like a 18th century styling, but then the wig was extremely modern.
Yeah.
In fact, the wig was almost like a little bit dated. Like, it was a very 2014 wig. I would have liked to see her have like a powdered wig. Like, it would have been really cool if she went from like a big white Marie Antoinette wig and then pulling that off and then having the black hair. Like, there would have been contrast there. It would have made sense with the outfit, but it just kind of...
Yeah, and nothing was smooth. None of the reveals were smooth other than the finger thing.
The finger
thing was the only thing.
That was cute.
Them taking off the wig, and I said it to you whenever we finally watched them on the screen, like on our TV, was they should have like put a little curtain in front of her face, did a little shake, and then whoosh, and her hair is revealed. Because you just fully see that dancer gripping up under that wig, like making sure she got a good hold of it. And
after she put shaving cream all over the wig.
Like, so they should have done the shaving cream, maybe had a little razor and gone, and it would have looked so smooth, and it could be clunky, and you don't have to worry about being graceful taking it off because it's all hidden. And then there's this wow surprise reveal. I was very disappointed in this one. It did end up coming last, which is crazy that it was my winner, and I would even say it made sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah. So... And then we had the song Dancing with Demons by Cyan Kicks. And this was one that wasn't translating for me, nor live, nor on TV. There were good moments, but I remember looking at it and thinking, oh my God, like, they just messed up. They messed up the cameras. Like, the camera's supposed to cut away, but it looked like it went to a cameraman that like fell or something, or you know?
Because she kind of like does like one of those things where you push the camera. Typically, when someone does the camera push thing, it like pushes out, and then you get a new camera angle. But instead, it just kind of like slowly looked at the floor, and I completely thought that it was a mess up, that they didn't switch the camera. Yeah,
because the camera kept going, looking at the artist, and then looking at the floor, like, and it was. We understood after watching it a few times, but it wasn't translating well. It was almost like, remember in MGP this year, where they tried to do the mirrored effect with that table.
Yeah.
And it's like, guys, clearly this whole mirror effect is not working, because they cut to the ground. First of all, it's in black and white. So it almost like flattens it out, basically. There's less like dimension that you notice. The floor's dirty. And so it's not like a clear, clean reflection.
Yeah, it was definitely giving Turin floor.
Yeah. And so this whole effect that they were trying to do, which I don't even think would have made sense even if it worked.
No.
But that, and then also live, it was not really the best to watch, because they were just kind of like running around the stage, and a lot of time it was like interacting with the cameraman. And so you're sitting going, what is going on?
Yeah, it's like, this was one where you could clearly see that it was staged for the cameras because there were points where we're like looking at their backs, which is really awkward, especially because there were other people. Like the drummer, I think, was completely stationary. So he's facing us like a performer generally would be to the audience, but everyone else had their backs turned. And I think there were parts of it that that looked really good. Whereas like 𝗤𝘂 was a bit like clunky and messy, like they did hit their marks.
Yeah.
And they did interact with each other together really nice. And I thought she sounded really good at least in the arena. She sounded great. Rehearsals, she sounded great. But yeah, this was one too where it was like there was something that got missed. There was just a few things that probably should have changed to make it better, but those changes just didn't happen.
Yeah, I felt like it needed actually like more wider shots and more dynamic like camera boom, 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 because they kind of kept on that cameraman on the stage for like long periods of time. And it should be like a fun, hardcore, exciting song where it's like bam, bam, bam. Cuts. And it's like just the cameraman going, and it just, it felt almost like slowed down in that way, where it's like, no, I should be getting amped up, I should be getting excited. And it also didn't really go anywhere. Like, it didn't have like a big moment at all.
Nothing changed with the lighting or anything. Yeah. Like, there wasn't a moment where the actual demon in the song and the demon in the video, it never popped up, like, on the LED screens. And they had an amazing LED screen. In fact, they had 2 LED screens. They had, like, a semicircle LED and then another one behind it. So when you're in the audience, if you're looking from the side, you can actually see the second LED from behind. And they just didn't utilize it to its full potential with that one.
I really felt like they should have, at the big part of the song, it should have gone to color, and they should have had all these reds, and they should have had the demon behind them and the demon eyes and all that. There were so many things they could have done with this, and I was like, really? I don't know. But I will say, at the press conference, I noticed that the main singer was wearing my famous vagina jacket, but in black. And I turned to Renata and I said, that's my vagina jacket. And I was like freaking out. I literally that's why I need one-on-one interviews, because I'm not going to say that in the press conference.
Right.
Why you wouldn't say that in a press conference. In a one-on-one interview, I'd say, by the way, that's my vagina jacket. And it could have created a funny little moment.
Yeah.
But we didn't have the opportunity for that. But then we had the song Glow by Jesse Markin. And this was another one. I thought it looked really good on the screen.
Yeah. But
it didn't look great on live because he's pretty much the entire performance is interacting with the cameraman. So you really couldn't see him for a lot of it. But the dancing was really good. He sounded good. The staging was really nice. The LED was gorgeous, just like the sunset vibes. It was very reminiscent of the music video in that way. It was cute.
It was good. I felt like maybe it was a bit too minimalistic. Whereas like 𝗤𝘂's was maximalistic with way too much going on. Like there was absolutely nothing brought on stage for Glow. So with the other songs, I was paying close attention between the acts. What was the props coming on stage? What was going off stage? And they only took things off stage. So it was really clean, really open stage. But I felt like maybe the LEDs, they could have done something a little bit more exciting with the LEDs. I felt like maybe the glow aspect could have been played up a little bit more. But I thought it was really solid, and I love the song. And I still loved the song after the performance, and he performed it really well. And I thought he really did great at both the rehearsal and the live show.
He did nothing wrong.
Nothing.
I mean, they really didn't do anything wrong. It's just like could have done
more. Yeah, they could have done more.
But it was good. And then we had, speaking of more, we had Vox Populi by Michael Gabriel and Nublu. My mortal enemy, as everybody knows at this point. No. This was, okay. Renata, do you remember when I turned to you after the performance? I said, I think it's going to win. It's going to win. This is going to win.
And I go, I think that's coming last.
And I really, something about seeing it there, I thought it was amazing. But when I rewatched it on TV, I was like, oh, this wasn't good. But sitting there Okay, so they come out, they get rolled out on these like wooden structures that are, I think, supposed to resemble like what are those called?
Podiums.
Podiums, yeah, like presidential candidates doing a speech or a debate, and they're on this podium. That was like, I guess, what they were going for, but they were like so oversized. Honestly, if they were like skinnier, like if they were actually like a podium width, but just really weirdly tall, that would have been kind of funky. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
But live, the reason I felt like it was so crazy is like, I felt like it was so, these huge structures, it looked like they were like interacting well with each other. And then all that shit started getting thrown on the stage with like the toilet paper, and they were like throwing stuff off. Sitting really close to the stage, that looked like a huge moment. And then we rewatched it on TV, and I was like, oh wait, I don't even remember them showing the toilet paper getting thrown. Like, sitting right there, it looked like the craziest thing ever.
Yeah, it actually, the toilet paper thing did look cool, but it still also didn't really make sense. Like, I wasn't sure why. Are we throwing toilet paper? I don't know, maybe there's something in the lyrics, but I don't remember there being.
I guess that's just supposed to represent, like, people booing you almost, like, online, like throwing tomatoes, TPing your stage or whatever. I guess that was what they were going for.
I just didn't get it at all. Like, the podium thing, I hated that they were like raw wood. Like, they just looked unpainted. Like, if you look at like a debate podium, almost always they're gonna be like dark mahogany lacquer. They're gonna be shiny. They're gonna look expensive. And instead it looked like, I don't know, it looked like unpainted high school theater props.
Yeah.
And then they had these weird Star Wars-esque martial arts looking suit outfits, and I don't know, that was weird. I didn't get what was going on with the background. There's like charts and graphs, and then balls being thrown, and
the LED should have like actually put, at least at the beginning, so we could understand what they were trying to do. They should have like put them in like a presidential campaign sort of debate stage almost, and like put that out there if that's what they were going for. Kind of set a scene. We didn't get that. It was just like colors and then the graphs.
It was like very abstract.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that was one that they probably should have maybe gone a bit more literal with the staging. Or actually, no, I take that back. I don't think they should have. I think it was absolutely perfect that they did such a weird, shitty performance because I didn't want them to win. So fine. I'm totally fine with it being disconjoined and not really making much sense. So actually, I'm not going to complain about it anymore.
Yeah. I will say
it sounded weird as hell.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Inside.
Live, it like New Blue sounded crazy. Like, first, you could barely hear him. It sounded like he was
doing that thing.
Yeah.
It was like mixing was weird.
And then he was like almost just like mumbling into the microphone. But when we rewatched it on TV, it did sound, they sounded good. They sounded good. So, I mean, I love the song. I really do. I love the song. I'm going to keep listening to it. I love that now I can watch it and not worry about them winning. But I don't think I ever actually discussed on the podcast why I beefed what happened with that.
No.
It happened. You did. So it happened right before we left on our trip. Like, it was literally like 2 days before I was going to leave for UMK. And I'm posting on Twitter, and I said, I commented on something about his Putin tattoo. Like, I tweeted it, but somebody tagged him in it, and then he replied to it basically saying, oh, like, it's been covered up. It doesn't mean that I support that person. And then I was like, okay, but like, explain your Twitter and all your like transphobic stuff and all these crazy things that you're liking that I put screenshots of, that I literally just went to your Twitter right now and you were just liking them. Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump, Andrew Tate, like, and silence. He disappeared. He was like in my replies too. Like, he was replying to like so many people, and he wasn't getting in Twitter fights. Like, this was the first time he went on Twitter and commented on it since he was announced for UMK. So, of course, he got to show up under my tweet and start replying to everybody's stuff. And he's like, oh, I'm very open to, like, you know, criticism and, you know, I want to explain myself. But as soon as I said, but what about these tweets right here? Silence.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's fine. It's fine. He can just live his life now.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about him. The demons no longer are haunting me. Then we had 𝗤𝗏 𝗡𝗏 with her song 𝗏𝗏.
I had my tissues ready.
Yeah.
I needed them.
This one was, I had full body chills so many times during this performance. Live was, oh my God, it was like an out of body experience. And I didn't have as much of an emotional like connection to the song as you did. So I felt like whenever I felt that, I was like, this has to win. This is going to win. This is going to be one of those songs that connects with people on such a level that it's going to steamroll. Like I really felt in that moment, I was like, this is winning Eurovision.
Yes.
That's how I was feeling.
Yeah.
Like, it was without a question. Like I was like, oh, this is obviously winning UMK, but this could be winning Eurovision. There were so many amazing moments. I mean, her style was awesome. I love that dress with like the piercings throughout it and the gold leaf coming up her chest. And she's interacting with this light. And there's this moment where she's like reaching for it and it's like just leaving her. It's about to just like go off into the distance and she's reaching for it. That's when I just got like, that was the moment for me. It was insane. This was so good.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was just as good as I would hope that it would be. I thought the staging was super creative. I never saw anything like that before. Yeah. And it was really, this was a situation where I really enjoyed the way that it looked in the arena, and I was obsessed with the way that it looked on TV. And what was cool about it in the arena was that the light was being pushed by stagehands who were dressed entirely in black. So on TV, you never see them, but in the audience, you could see them. And it looked actually really cool because you could understand like what was happening. Like it felt like you were actually watching magic being made instead of watching a TV show being recorded.
Yeah, like when they were tossing it back and forth between each other and then throwing it around her.
Right, it didn't even feel like you were watching stagehands. Like it felt like choreography.
I at one point I thought they were dancers. Like I thought they were on screen as dancers.
It really worked. It worked in the arena. It worked live. They did the right thing having her essentially stand still. You know, the only thing she was doing was like, oh, now I reach for the light. Now I push the light. Like she wasn't rolling over top of pianos or anything. They did everything right. She did everything right. She was brilliant. She sounded great. She ended up coming second, and it's not of any fault of her own or anything. She just got beat out in the end, and that, you know, it is what it is. But she couldn't have done anything different to make it better. It was amazing and it was perfect. It's just things just happen certain ways sometimes, and that's what happened this night. So I felt crushed.
Yeah.
In the moment of realizing that she wasn't actually going to be going to Eurovision, because I really did think, and I said in my initial reaction, like, this song could win Eurovision, and I never say shit like that ever, because I'm not even good at predictions, but it was really, this was such a missed opportunity for Finland, I think.
Yeah.
Although I am fine with the result, but yeah, we'll get to that part too. But it was amazing. I thought they did such a good job with this one.
And this would have been so special for them to send after Käärijä.
Yeah.
Like something completely different and show the diversity of Finnish music and another Finnish language song too. Like it's kind of sad that we had so many Finnish language songs this year and we still did end up with an English one somehow.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll get to the winner. Then next up to perform was what are we saying?
I don't know. I have always said 𝗥𝗏𝘅𝘆.
𝗥𝗏𝘅𝘆. I need to say 𝗥𝗏𝘅𝘆, but then I don't know. Whatever. 𝗥𝗏𝘅𝘆 with his song Mania. This was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
This was the biggest grower for me live because I think we both agreed we thought this was coming last.
I totally thought this was going to come last.
Yeah, and not because we didn't like the song, because we both really liked the song.
Yeah, I love it.
But it was just like, you know, sometimes you're feeling the vibes, right? And when we saw this live, this was crazy. He was so physical. He was interacting with these like bungee cord rope things, and he was like pulling his body forward, and he was like trying to, you know,
yeah, I mean, it was
and
extremely physical.
Yeah.
And at the rehearsals, he actually had one of the best vocals on the rehearsal in the morning. He sounded amazing. And we were so close, too, at that third row, where we could really see him, like, physically being challenged. It wasn't that he was being pulled around. He was he was working really hard, and he sounded great. And it looked amazing, fucking awesome in the arena. And it looked great on TV, too.
Yeah, because this is one live. This was probably one of the best live. This one and Windows 95, man, were really good.
Live.
I mean, these last three.
Yeah.
Honestly, we had a kind of a rough start. I did feel like going through it, it was like almost, it got better, the whole show.
The whole show got better.
The whole show, it was like progressively better, which is good. It's better than starting off great and then fizzling out.
Right, I guess it's the NRK model of the best 3 songs go on at the end of the show.
Yeah, but it was really impressive, and this one live was the one that blew us away.
And I think I turned to you and said, that's going to come top 3. Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it came second to last, which is sad. And the 𝗫𝗍 family remains robbed. Truly. And this is my husband.
Oh, yeah, he's so cute, by the way.
He's literally...
gorgeous.
At the press thing, he was like, I don't know, because he gives such an intense energy through his music and through his like music videos and those kind of visuals that I felt like he gave an intimidating persona in that. But in real life, at the press conference, just existing, he was so cute. He was just like kind of shy and he kept like playing with his hair and like
shifting in his seat and like
changing his leg position, and he was adorable.
Really
like he really was like, I was like, I need to, you know, put a ring on that. Both the brothers, honestly, both of them, please. But Isaac did get a better result. Isaac got 5th and he got 6th.
Wow.
Which, I don't know.
Both robbed. Both very robbed.
Really robbed. But also, if I was Isaac, just like brothers or whatever, because 𝗏𝗏 is like he's the bigger artist of the two. Like he's super popular. He's super popular. Whereas Isaac doesn't have like much music out. He's he's doing his thing. But I'd be like, but yeah, bitch.
Yeah.
And I still beat you in the end. And he was there. We saw him in the green room, which was really exciting. And then we had the winner, Windows 95 man, no rolls. And as time has progressed, this has started to sit on me. His win has started to kind of, you know,
it's been sinking in?
Yeah, and it makes more sense as I think about it. I mean, not maybe compared to 𝗏𝗏𝗏, but like generally I understand, because I do think this performance was fucking absurd. And like, I think it's one of those ones that maybe like anybody can just appreciate the entertainment of it because it was so fucking crazy. I mean, when they rolled out that denim egg at first, everybody was like, what the fuck is going on? And then they had the shorts attached, and then they start raising it up, and you're like, oh my god, what are they doing with that? It was like, that was just before the performance even started. It was pure chaos. And I think what made it good though was that it wasn't messy. It had a clear start to finish, you know. It also is, it's a good song. The
Great
performance,
song.
The visuals, all that's wacky, that's crazy, that grabs your attention. But the actual song is just a good song. It's not like a mess.
No. Well, this one was so... Okay, I was totally gagged, start to finish. I mean, the egg, the shorts, and then the performance itself. Him being in those little, like, flesh-colored underwear. And it looked great in the arena. Mm-hmm. It looked really, really amazing. The light show was amazing. I did not understand the way that it was going to look on TV until we watched it later where it actually is. So we could see that he was in like flesh tone underpants. But the TV thing was like actually him like being hidden over and over so that you don't, although at the final it was a little bit messy where like you could, you know, maybe people were a little bit off of their mark or going a bit too fast or not enough rehearsal or whatever. So the illusion was a little bit destroyed. But I mean,
but it's impressive. It was impressive to watch it and like, and after this is one like after seeing it live, seeing how it was done, then going and watching it on TV, and you're like, oh my god, because it is so obvious in person that you don't even realize that that was an effect. But then when I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh my god, whoa, he really stood in just the right way to make it look like he's naked there. Oh, and then they do the puff of smoke when he turns so that it, you know, you don't see anything. It's just like, that was wild. And I don't know. And then also the main singer in the song, do you know his name?
𝗫𝗄𝘅𝘆.
First of all, I didn't really realize how fucking hot this man was.
So beautiful.
Until I saw him in real life, because this man is fucking gorgeous. Like, I am excited that we're going to get to see more of him for the season, because that... And
both of them are gorgeous.
I think the other one's maybe not that tight. But I think he's a little too much of me. Which is not usually... I don't really like people that, like, remind me of me. Not that he really reminds me of me, but, like, he has a mullet. I used to, you know, rock the mullet, the blonde hair, glasses, whatever.
And he's super tall, which I like.
Yeah, which I'm not. But the main singer, or he is kind of the main singer.
He is the main singer.
But, the unnamed one.
Henry.
Yeah. But he's so fucking good, and he adds like a level of almost seriousness to where, so he won, but he came, or the Windows 95 man, they won, but they came last in the juries, and they came first in the televote. And I think that, first of all, that's crazy. That's crazy, and that low-key, you know, should not be how it goes. I don't think that should ever be possible, because basically what this kind of sets a standard for is that you have to win televote to win UMK. I mean, why not just do 100% televote? What does it matter? I mean, why have juries if it has that much of a pull where the juries put them last and they can still win from the televote? That just doesn't really make sense. There's no point to have a jury in that situation.
It doesn't bode well for things that are more jury friendly. Like, why even enter a song that's jury friendly? Because it's going to be, if the best you can ever get is second with a jury friendly song.
Yeah. And the other issue is, it begs the question of what is UMK for? What is your national selection for? Because really, if you want it to pick the best Eurovision entry, you should copy the Eurovision voting, because that's how it's going to go. The benefit is that it gets the public really excited, because it's like they actually have a say, whereas something like 𝗫𝗏𝘆𝘆, I mean, the public still seems excited, but there's the potential of everybody, you know, not wanting to get behind their own country's entry because, oh, my vote has no pull. At least bitches know their vote has all the pull here.
And it's kind of literally like 𝗫𝗏𝘆𝘆 is the opposite, where like the jury basically decides and the televote doesn't make a difference, and then UMK is sort of in this phase where the televote makes the difference. But like, I have thought for a long time, the best thing to do is to use as close to the same voting format as you get at Eurovision, which means international jury, which means public vote, which means 50-50, because that's what you're going to get with the final. And I think if success in Eurovision is the goal, that's what you should do. And UMK, Yle, the producers, the broadcaster, they want to win Eurovision. So the fact that they didn't maximize their chances to win Eurovision by using the same like scoring like method, I don't really understand. I don't understand why they did that. Although, I mean, it's you know, it's rare for me to want a ballad to win anything. I'm not saying that like she was like, you know, robbed or anything, because Windows 95 Man was amazing, and I do love the song, and I think it is a great entry.
And I do think they were the two best.
They were definitely the two best. It was clearly, I think at rehearsals, it was clearly between the two of them. and it just did end up swinging in his favor. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to swing in his favor at Eurovision.
You don't? So that was the question I was going to ask, because I think it's the whole discussion going on right now is people being like, oh, well, first of all, there's people being like, oh, Finland is NQing, which
that's impossible because it's 100% public vote.
Yeah, so that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why any of y'all are even trying to say that.
No.
But a lot of people are saying like, oh, this is going to completely, be last in the juries again, and maybe it'll get a good televote or whatever. But I don't necessarily think that the juries wouldn't rank this high. I don't think they're probably going to give it a win, but like, people said that about Käärijä, and he didn't end up getting tanked by the juries.
No, and this is way more accessible for juries than he was, with like a rock rap fusion song, like Windows 95 Man, no rules. It's like straight up Eurodance, and that is like an extremely accessible genre. Yeah. So I don't think that I think it could get a better jury result than Käärijä did.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean,
maybe it'll click for people.
Yeah, I mean, it's clicking for me, and I'm interested. Where's my phone? Oh, it's recording. Oh wait, I started ranking them on my computer. I'm interested to see where I ranked them whenever I did it, because they really did grow on me, and like I said, they were probably my second place, like definitely for sure 𝗏, but I had them second to last. So like they grew on me. So I mean, that might click. It clicked for me through that live performance because it's so impressive, and also I do think that what is his name? Henry. I think he adds that kind of like more stable, kind of just good singer, solid singer, pop,
amazing
whatever,
performer too. He had some swagger. Like he looked like he was extremely comfortable doing what he was doing.
Yeah, and so I feel like he's like the balance of it, whereas it's not all crazy. You've got this like crazy mullet man running around trying to put shorts on, but then you also have this like pop star right there. I don't know. I think it's a really good, it's amazing for what it is too. Like to me, this could be a 𝗏𝗏𝗆 sort of thing. Like, this is iconic. This is so well done. This is so polished. It's impressive. It's technical. It's not just some stupid thing on that some people just threw on stage to make a joke. Like, this is like a fully thought out concept and everything. So I definitely see this doing well in Eurovision.
I think it's going to do fine. I don't think it's going to win. I do think that 𝗏𝗏𝗆 was the better choice for Eurovision to be competitive. I'm really sad that I'm not going to see her at Eurovision, but I think with the amount of time that they have until May, they can clean this performance up to the point that it could have like a really, really good chance of definitely coming left-hand side, maybe top 10. I do not think that it's going to flop whatsoever.
No.
It's not flopping.
No, I agree. So then after the live show and everything like that, there was, should we just, what are our thoughts on the Käärijä performance and everything like that?
Oh,
I'm fucking obsessed.
Oh my God. Yeah, because there were intervals.
Yes, but this one was weird because at first we thought they weren't even performing. Because remember, like, they did the jury votes first, and then we were like, oh no, we're not going to get to see them. But then they did the interval act between the jury votes and the televote, which was really good. And it was just a fucking amazing performance. And I mean, love 𝗏𝗏𝘆𝗏𝘆 and like her part in that whole thing was amazing. But when they did the like reprise of 𝗥𝗏𝗆 and like that was the one where when we were in our other seats like higher up, and I was just like, you see everybody dancing, you see everybody in the green room dancing, and it was just like, I don't know. I was like, wow, this man really, like, he changed Finnish music history.
He did.
Like, he really reinvigorated something within the industry, I feel like, and within Eurovision. Like, and it's awesome to see all the artists and see the way, like, the Finnish population all came together and was just having so much fun and excited during that song. It was just like, I don't know, the way everybody adores him is so... I don't know.
And it did look awesome from our seats. And actually, if you go over to my channel, 𝗍𝗍𝘆𝘆, you can see I posted the whole point of view from where we sat. So you can see exactly what we saw. And because we were right behind the green room, we also got to see not just the amazing stage performance, but we got to see everybody just going bananas in the green room. It was really, really so special to like be there for that.
Yeah. And then the live show ended and chaos ensued in terms of after party. So
crazy.
I mean it was, I had fun, I guess, but that's the one damn thing about this damn hotel. It's confusing the floors. All right, don't listen to the fucking employees. They did not know. I don't know if it was a language thing. I don't think it was.
It wasn't.
I don't know what the issue was because we were looking for karaoke and it was on the 3rd floor. So naturally when you hear it's on the 3rd floor, you go up like 2 flights of steps and get to the 3rd floor. So that's what we did. And then they're like, oh, you're on the 5th floor. I'm sorry, I only went up 1, 2. I'm on the 5th. We go down 1. We only go down 1 flight of stairs and we're on the 3rd.
And now it makes sense why everything was on floor 1, 3, and 5, because those are the only floors that you can actually access from the stairs. But that was never really clear. But the building is a little bit confusing. And like even this morning when I went and I wanted to go shopping at the hockey club stores, none of the employees could tell me how to get there. And even one of the concierges walked with me because they gave me instructions. I'm like, I just tried to do what you told me to do. And I did not find this fan store. And they were like, okay, well, I'll walk with you. And then we're walking and the guy's like, oh, actually, this is weird. I don't know what's going on. And eventually we found it, but it was like, there was a lot that was not like clear. And I felt like I did a lot of walking around during the after party, just trying to figure out where the hell I was and where I was going.
Yeah, and things just needed to be a little more labeled.
Yeah, a little more labeled.
A little more labeled. But I like walking around because the benefit of that was we got to run into a bunch of you guys,
oh my God,
which was
so
amazing. And the best thing for me was hearing people come up and say, like, because we were together for most of that, and people come up and say, like, we love listening to your podcast and everything like that. It's so because
cool.
We did just start this pretty recently, and you never know how things are going to go. And actually, like, I always say this, I kept saying this to Renata the whole time because I'm like, it is just fucking absurd to like travel to a completely foreign country that you've never stepped foot in and have people come up and be like, oh my God, I love your whatever that you do. Like, that's so weird to think.
Right, and I know that like we told you guys, if you see us, come and say hi, and I'm so glad you did, but I also didn't expect anybody to, so it was like, I really felt like a celebrity at so many which is weird because I am nobody.
Yeah, that was that, and I do want to apologize to the one person. I hope you didn't get a bad impression from me.
Oh, no.
I was trying to buy popcorn, and someone came up, and they said, hi, oh my God, I watched your videos. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. Just give me 1 sec, because I have to pay for my popcorn, because I didn't want to, like, ignore the service worker. And then I turned around, and the person was gone. So, I'm sorry. I hope you didn't think I was ignoring you. I was planning to continue to talk to you. But I had a lot of fun. I mean, it was kind of like, it's the end of the whatever. Like, I had fun at karaoke still, even though we went there and we couldn't sing because it was queued up, which, fair enough.
It was really busy. There was a lot of people. The Eurovision disco was really fun.
Yeah.
I got to see 𝗪𝗪𝘆𝘆 sing down at the Eurovision disco. Got to dance with a bunch of friends, and yeah, it was amazing. And then, of course, the elevators.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So, on my way up, I'm about to leave. It's the end of the night. Wait a second. I never discussed the fact that I did a whole outfit change in the middle of the show.
Oh, that's right. We both did outfit changes, actually.
Yes. So for me, I was wearing the Käärijä outfit all the way up until the point. We'll get to what I was about to say, but up until the point that we were in the live show, everybody's performed, and I was like, Renata, I'm so fucking uncomfortable right now because I was wearing Skims shapewear, and it was digging into my hips so bad because I had so many tights on and the shapewear. because of my pads, I was like, I have to go change. So after everybody performed, the benefit of staying in the hotel of the arena was I left the show, went up to my hotel, changed my outfit, came back down, and then voting started. And I was able to pop on UMK on the TV while I was changing so I could make sure, you know, I was all set. So that was me. I changed into this blue outfit, very cute. It was actually an 𝗥𝗍𝘆 backup for me. But I wasn't planning to change an outfit for the after party, but I was just so uncomfortable.
Yeah. I planned to change for the after party the entire time. So I had been in like a more warm, like comfortable, stretchy outfit because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of sitting and I wasn't going to be moving a ton. So I would have been cold. And it was cold in the arena at points because also there's a gigantic sheet of ice underneath the stage. But I changed into a different dress, into a party dress. And even in my party dress, I was like hot at points, especially in the Eurovision disco. Because there was just like a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. But then I got into the elevator to leave, and it's the end of the night. Like, it is literally the end of the night. They turned all the lights off. Like, the after party was done. I stayed at the after parties till 3 a.m. Like, it was done. I head into the elevator. It's just me and one other person that I met from the press thing in there. We're going up, and it stops on a floor, and it's 𝗥𝗶𝗍𝘁 and another guy with her, and they get like, we're like, oh yeah, come in, you're all good. They come in and they're like, oh, what floor are you guys going to? And we were like, oh, I'm going to 9, he's going to 11. And they're like, okay, we're going to 8, and we're on the elevator passes 8. Why? Because these damn elevators don't have buttons in them. They don't have buttons in them. You have to... Did we explain this already?
We didn't.
They don't have buttons in the elevator. You click on a screen outside of the elevator, and you click on what floor you're going to. And then it basically will say, like, oh, go to elevator A, B, or C. If you're in one of the main lobbies, it'll have it on a screen above it. It'll say each floor number, so you at least know to go to that one. But if you're on, like, one of the other floors, it'll just say it on the screen really quickly and then disappear. So it is very easy to like, oh, that one just opened, and it's going up, so it's gonna stop at my floor, right? Because I'm going up as well. Well, no, because she got into the wrong elevator, and it was not the one that her room number was queued for. So I was like, we get to my floor, I'm like, just come off, I will help you with the elevator, I will explain it to you. So I literally like, I literally took her hand and I was like, so you just go like this and scan it. And then she was like, oh, thank you so much. Well, actually in the elevator, she said, I think I saw you at the press thing, because I never know if I should talk to these people. Yeah, I'm not usually, like, I usually will just, like, be quiet because I, like, don't want to be weird.
You don't want to bother them.
And it's, like, it's one thing if it's at a press thing, it's one thing, but, like, I think whenever you're staying in a hotel with the artist, you're in the elevator, you're at, like, a breakfast sort of thing. I don't know, when you're in, like, something where maybe someone's assuming a little bit of privacy, especially this was the end of the night, like, the show's over, like, she's probably going to go take her makeup off and go to sleep. But she said to me, she said, you were at the press thing, you were sitting right in the front. You look like Ava Max, but sexier. That is literally I'm like, that's gonna live in my head for the rest of my life. That's like the best thing anybody has ever said to me. I was like, oh my God. And then after I helped her with the elevator, she was getting in and she was like, thank you, you're so beautiful. And I was like, you're so beautiful and gorgeous and stunning and amazing and talented. And then I was saying that all as the doors like
oh
shut.
My God.
And it was like such a crazy moment. And I literally walked right over to the room and I opened the door and I'm like, you're not gonna fucking believe what the fuck just happened 2 seconds ago.
Well, and you walked in on me absolutely a wreck. I was 𝗥𝗍𝘆𝘆. I was a fucking wreck at that point in time because I also had a weird leaving moment where I hadn't been feeling very good for a while. I was operating on very little sleep. I was jet lagged. I was having kind of like an emotional roller coaster. The night before, I had like the best night of my life with the Portion Boys, and it was kind of like I literally think my brain just stopped producing dopamine. Like it just. mentally I couldn't do it anymore. Actually, physically I was fine, I think, but mentally I was hitting a wall. And I had been eating French fries. And I had been eating some French fries because I needed a snack before bed. And I was sort of working my way back over to the elevators to go up to the room. And this was pretty close. This was maybe like, it was after 2. The party ended at 3. And I'm talking to some people, some friends, and I'm like, why is everybody standing around in this hallway? Like there were plenty of places like 50 feet away with seats and tables and chairs and comfy stuff to sit on. I'm like, why is everyone standing around? Like, this is kind of weird. And someone was like, because that's the VIP room, so all the artists are coming in and out. So everyone, and then I looked and I could see it was like, okay, the Sex Man fans are here, you know, the 𝗤𝗏𝘅𝘆 fans are here, you know, everyone was, the Käärijä fans are here, everyone was there. And I look up and I see 𝗤𝗍𝗶𝗁, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get another chance to see her. So I put down my French fries and I go over and I get to talk to 𝗤𝗏, and we have this amazing moment, and it felt like it actually lasted forever. So if it did go on for a while, I'm really sorry to the other people who were like waiting to talk to her, because we really actually were like kind of having a moment with each other. Like we kept hugging each other, and then we'd pull apart from each other and we would say something, but then we would hug each other again, and we were both crying, and it was so weird. And I did get a picture with her, and that was great. I really wanted to get a picture, although I'm crying in the picture. And then it was like, okay, and I think I even said, like, okay, I'm going to let you say hi to everybody else because everyone wants a piece of you right now. I'm going to stop hogging you. I go into the elevator. I completely collapse into just like a puddle of tears. Like I couldn't even stand up anymore. It was so much emotion. It had been such a long day, and like it was the end of the night for me. I go back up into the room. I'm like collapsing on the floor. I'm sobbing, like boogers are like flying out of my nose. I like couldn't even stand up. I'm wondering where the hell Maxxy is.
I know. You did text me, are you dead?
I'm texting, are you dead? Because it was after 3 at that point too, but you were helping Erica in the elevator at that point. And then you show up, I'm sitting on the floor crying, my makeup is everywhere. You're like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, I left my French fries downstairs.
And like, it's one of those moments too where you're like, am I allowed to laugh at this? Because this is kind of crazy.
Because I was like, at that point, I was so upset, and I was really fucking hungry because I only had a few of the fries, and I was literally taking the fries up to my room to eat. And then I got sidelined by Sarah, and then I just like completely fell apart emotionally, and then I left the fries. It was just one of those things. Like I wasn't even drunk, but I was definitely giving like drunk girl at the end of the night vibes. But so yeah, that was ridiculous. But I also had some elevator moments. In fact, I had a lot of elevator moments. So I'll go through them as quickly as I can. So I saw the Daltons in the elevator. So that's the kind of like sidekicks, the guys that like dress in pink, the bald dudes that perform with Käärijä.
Okay, the one that was in the election.
Yeah. I was in the elevator with them. I was in the elevator with 𝗤𝗎𝗄𝐆abotage's mother and her dog.
Mother.
Literal mother of 𝗤𝗎, and 𝗤𝗎's child, basically, because her little chihuahua was in there, and I love chihuahuas, and it was such a cute little chihuahua. I own a chihuahua, my dog's a chihuahua. And the mom was adorable, and who else did I see? Also, I was going down to the live show, I think, and I'm standing in the elevator, and none other than 𝗍𝗏𝘆 from the Portion Boys walks into the elevator. And I actually hadn't met him the night before because he was sick. He didn't go to the gig. He was back at the hotel. I got to FaceTime with him. So I did get a moment to speak with him. But then he walks into the elevator. But the elevator was so packed that Yalotina couldn't get into the elevator. So then he walks out of the elevator. And I'm like, I'll see you guys down there. And then I get down there. And then they get down there, and so I got to see the Portion Boys again, and it was just like, It was just like, I don't know, something about the elevators that night, as confusing as they were, like it totally was the place to be because everyone was using them.
Yeah. Those are like, in any Eurovision moment, for some reason, those are all, like when I was in Madrid and I was staying in the same hotel, honestly, not to be a stalker, but like, that's kind of the best thing ever.
If you can stay in the elevator.
If you can, well, okay, don't do that. But like, staying in the same hotel as the artist, like if you want to meet the artist, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, and now we are here. Then
breakfast.
Oh, breakfast. Yeah,
breakfast.
Brexit, yeah.
Brexit. Yeah, at breakfast, everyone was down there. I mean, literally everyone from the show. Benjamin was down there. 𝗵𝗆 was down there. The guys from 𝗏𝗏 were down there. 𝗤𝗏 𝗥𝗃 was down there. I got to see 𝗤𝗏𝘆 again down there. I got to see Portion Boys down there. I mean, everyone stayed in the hotel. Everyone was hungry as hell in the morning.
Yeah.
I was hungry. But that breakfast was good.
It was so
good.
It was so good, yeah. I didn't really see anybody. I went down late that day.
You were a little bit later, yeah.
So I saw 𝗤𝗍 entourage.
Yeah.
And they were fierce.
Yes,
they were just as fierce as she is.
In the morning too, they were looking good.
Yeah, literally. And then we spent that day just, doing some sightseeing around 𝗃𝗏𝘅, finishing up.
Yeah,
that
going to
sort of
museums
stuff.
and enjoying the day.
Moving. Okay, here's what happened.
Oh.
We were filming some stuff, and my fucking camera fell, and the lens broke. Y'all, I bought that camera for this fucking trip.
Yeah, it's a new camera. Like, imagine if it would have been your old camera, and you broke the old camera. You probably wouldn't have cared.
Honestly, I would have been like, thank God, and now I can finally have an excuse to buy a new camera. No, but luckily, it was just the lens that broke. I'm still kind of convinced it can be fixed. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe.
Nothing's broken. Nothing like snapped.
Yeah.
It bent, but it didn't bend. It like it's like a lens. It's like a lens. It's like a tube within a tube, and the tube kind of shifted. So I think it could maybe be fixed, but I don't know. I'm just gonna wait until I get back to America and deal with it.
So we're like recording on a cell phone right now.
Yes. So, but. Then we went to the Moomin Museum.
Yeah, amazing.
I'm obsessed. Never fucking heard of these things before, and I'm obsessed with them. I went and bought a bunch of shit from all the places we went, and then we came over here. We took because there's a strike going on, so we took a bus down here to Malmi, to Helsinki, to the Käärijä Airbnb.
Yeah.
We did a tour of the
𝗤𝗅 chocolate factory. It was really cool.
We got a little gift basket.
If you come to Helsinki, definitely consider checking the 𝗤𝗅 factory because it's totally worth it. It's 15 euros for the ticket to go in. They do guided tours. It's really good. There's even like this rainforest thing that you can go into. They give you a gift when you leave, which is easily like a couple euros worth of
not
free
all this
treats.
Stuff, but they didn't take their bread.
Oh, and they have a great gift shop, and it was really good. It's definitely worth it.
Okay, here's the thing. This is why you go. Because they have a moment where they have all the little chocolates and all the little candies.
10 minutes. All you can eat candy.
I didn't realize it was timed.
It's about 10 minutes, yeah.
Oh. But literally you can just grab as much as you want basically and just and eat.
Go nuts.
And like I don't know. I don't know if you have, but like I don't think I've ever. Do they have this in America? Like this brand?
I have bought 𝗤𝗅 at a Finnish specialty restaurant
but it's not
store.
like something I would just like be eating
not
in
Walmart.
the grocery store.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I've never had any other candies. So like for these other people that are like Finnish, they probably they've eaten their stuff. They know what they like. But like literally it was like try every single thing. I want to like see what I like. There was one with coconut. I think that was my favorite. It was really fun.
It was really fun. Yeah, and we actually ended up doing the tour in Finnish because I think it's Saturdays that the tour is in English. But even if you go and you do the tour with the Finnish, like it's still really good. They give you a sheet where you can kind of like read along so you can get like the main points. And our tour guide did kind of tell us a couple things in English, as asides, like when we were moving between sections of the museum.
Yeah, or any like activity we had to do.
Yeah,
like,
so
she would give us the instructions.
Yeah, if you're worried when you look at it, if you're planning and you think like, oh, well, it's only in Finnish, like don't worry about it being only in Finnish. You can totally enjoy yourself and feel like you got your money's worth doing it. So, and then we had a friend come. And they were so nice to make us an extremely special dinner here in the B&B. They made us reindeer. They cooked reindeer for us, which was so delicious.
It was.
It tastes like venison if you've ever had deer. We're from Pennsylvania, and white-tailed deer is actually the state animal. And people hunt deer a lot. So I've actually eaten a ton of venison because I grew up in the country. So for me, it was just like delicious because it's a food that I really enjoy. And it's so especially Finnish. And we also had blueberry pie.
It was absurdly good. I can't believe they fucking made that all here.
And they made it all here in the B&B, which is the tiniest
kitchen
ever. It's like a kitchenette, really.
Yeah, but like that was wild. I could never.
It was. So we just had it's been a whirlwind, but it's been awesome. And not only did they make us dinner, they brought me a suitcase. So I don't have to drag around this stupid broken suitcase anymore. And I'm just so thankful for that. Like, they saved the day.
Yeah. And that's where we're at so far. Now, our trip, it does not end, but we had to film this week's podcast episode here in the Käärijä Airbnb. But I don't know when this is going to be going out. Yeah, I might try to put it out early, or I might put it out on the normal day. But either way, whenever it comes out, if it comes out on Friday, which is the latest it should come out, I will be going to 𝗥𝗏𝘆 on Saturday. I will already be in Estonia by then, because we're going to Estonia on like the 14th or whatever. 14th or 15th, whatever. Anyways, we're going to Estonia, but I'll just be the one there. Not you. You're going back to Finland, then you're going back home.
Finland,
But I'm going to Estonia for 𝗥𝗏𝘆. So if anybody's going to be in 𝗥𝗏𝘆, anybody at this point is listening, if you're going to be at 𝗥𝗏𝘆, make sure, send me a message, actually. Of course, come up and say hi if you see me in person, but send me a message, because I'm kind of going alone, so I'd love to meet some of you guys. Maybe we can all go together or something. So, and yeah, guys, so that is it for episode 25 of the 𝗤𝗍𝘆 podcast and our experience at UMK 2024. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. Of course, make sure to subscribe to our Patreon, and you can follow me on anywhere at �maxxy Rainbow.
And I'm everywhere at 𝗥𝗶𝘆𝘆.
And now we will see you